Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss my top cruise tips, especially if you are a new traveler. Those of you who have traveled before, you may or may not learn something. I think my camera's like crooked. Anyways, I'm not going to mess with that too much. So, besides the obvious, ensure you have your passport. Ensure you're vaccinated if you're sailing currently. Ensure you have your little vaccination card. Ensure you download the app. Ensure you do your pre-cruise test. Ensure you fill out your health questionnaire in the app and all that jazz, okay? Besides that very basic thing, always, tip number one, if you want me to label them, have every single thing that you need in a little folder. So I printed these off just in case. We don't need them anymore because it's on the app and that's how we're getting on the ship nowadays. So post-COVID. Pre-COVID, you had to print these off and have them with you. I printed it off just in case something goes wrong with the app or we're having internet issues or whatever. I have them. I also printed off my luggage tags ahead of time to attach to my bags. Usually our passports will go in here. Obviously our ID is usually just in our wallets. So that is very, very important. You don't want to get up there and you're rummaging through your backpack to find all your stuff, or worst case, you put your passport and all your documents in your checked luggage and you gave it to the guys at the dock who put it on the ship. You're not going to get on the ship. Like it's I don't know exactly what they would do in that case. They maybe try to go find your bags. I'm not really sure, but just have it all on you. I'm actually going to buy a little passport vaccination card holder thing. It's bigger than a wallet. It's kind of like its own little mini purse. It zips. It can hold like 4 passports, like 4 vaccination cards, all your credit cards. It can hold a whole bunch of other documents in the folders. So I'm going to buy that. Okay. Let's see. So people who don't know this because it's your first time on a cruise, depending on the cruise line, so you need to look, because not every cruise line is going to allow you to do this, but Royal Caribbean, I know for sure, does. You are allowed to bring up to 2 wine or champagne that is 750 milliliters or less, which majority of wine bottles, like the Stella Rosa size, is going to be 750 milliliters. But you still need to check that. And with Royal Caribbean, you are allowed to bring 12 17 ounces or less cans, bottles, or boxes. It can't be like glass or anything like that on board as well. So 2 wines per stateroom, 12 cans or whatever per stateroom. So what my husband and I do, because a lot of the cruise lines have Red Bull as their option for energy drinks, and I think Red Bull is disgusting. So we go and we buy Monsters or Rock Stars, whatever it is that you like, and we bring those on with us. But you need to carry them through security, through everything. Don't put it in your bag. You can. I've heard of, I'm not telling you to do things, but I've heard of people that put things in their bags that they don't, nobody knows, but I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just, another thing that a lot of people kind of tend to think is that everything once you get on the ship is free, or you don't have to pay for anything else once you get on board, which that statement is technically true. Once you get on board, you do not have to pay for food. You don't have to pay for water. You would need to pay for soda, alcoholic beverages, coffee, unless it's the coffee or the tea that's like in the buffet in the main dining, you won't have to pay for that. But if it's like Starbucks or if it's the fancier kinds of coffee, you will have to pay for that. But technically, once you get on board, if you stick with just the basics, you don't have to pay for anything else. But if you want specialty dining, you will have to pay for that. If you want a beverage package, you will have to pay for that. If you want internet, you have to pay for that. If you want things done at the spa, you have to pay for that. If you want photos that they take of you, you will have to pay for that. So if you keep it simple, just eat at the buffet, eat at main dining, you don't want any of that fancy stuff, then technically you don't need to pay for anything else. However, what I find is majority of the people do want all those other things. So I'm going to explain them briefly because, again, this is for people who have not been on a ship. The buffet and the main dining and some other little cafes on the ship are included. They're complimentary. You don't need to pay. Specialty dining and things like Starbucks, or if they have a Ben & Jerry's or like a Johnny Rockets or whatever the heck, is going to be extra. But they will let you know if you don't know, but you can find the information on the website when you're researching the ship. I gotta let the dogs back in, so. All right, well, here's the one that wanted to come back inside. So anyways, so yeah, those things are not included. Specialty dining, it's basically kind of just higher end. It's going to be higher end food. It's going to be higher end everything. Here's something that not a lot of people talk about, and I did not know until like towards the end of our cruise that I could have done this. In the main dining room and at the specialty dining restaurants, you can order more than one appetizer, more than one entree, more than one dessert. You can order all of them if you really wanted to. I didn't know that. So I stuck to one appetizer, one, entree, one dessert. And they don't like really tell you that. Like the staff or anybody, they don't really tell you that either. So I literally didn't know that until I saw a guy at a table next to me had like 3 different desserts he was trying. And I was like, we can have like more than one. Like I didn't know that. I thought, it was gonna be like a regular restaurant. You choose like one of each. So just know that you can order more. So sometimes what I do, if there's 2 appetizers I want to try, or one my husband wants, one I want, then we order both of them. But we always do our best to finish, our food. I don't want to just order it, take a bite, and waste it. But I mean, you can. So, drink packages. I have mentioned this on here before. If you are somebody who drinks a lot, this can benefit you. If you are someone who doesn't, or maybe has one here and there, it's going to be cheaper for you to just pay for the few drinks you may have than the drink package. However, I will mention, because I was not 100% aware of what was included in the drink package. There's different levels. You can buy just the soda package. Then you can buy like the soda and alcohol package. And then you can buy like the ultimate package. The ultimate package is going to give you all your alcoholic beverages, all your soda, your specialty coffees, excluding Starbucks, your milkshakes and stuff from Johnny Rockets, your protein shakes from the Vitality Spa area. Now, we may have considered that drink package if we would have known it came with the protein shakes, with the milkshakes from Johnny Rockets. That may have been worth it. Still maybe not, because we don't drink a lot. The shake we got at for the protein was only $10, and we actually split it into 2 cups because it was a lot. So me and my husband split it. So $10, that really wasn't that bad. We only got it, I think, once. So it wasn't something we were drinking every single day. But so drinks on board, we'll just say, are like $13, right? But your beverage package for 7 days is gonna cost you like $1,000. My husband and I spent, this is including drinks, including items we purchased on board, so like t-shirts, watches, whatever else we purchased, the whole entire 7 days, we only spent $300. And I would have paid $1,000 for the beverage package. No, like that, for us, it doesn't make sense. If you're going to be drinking a lot, it makes sense. However, something you need to take note of, if you have another individual in your cabin that is over the age of 21, regardless if they drink or not, they must purchase the drink package. You're not allowed to have just one per 2 people. That's kind of what they're getting at. You can't do that. If they're underage, obviously that's different because they can't buy the package because they can't drink it. But if they're over the age of 21, they must purchase it if you purchase it. So keep that in mind as well. Also, first-time cruisers, if you live out of state, fly into the port the day before. Don't do it the morning of. Probably don't even do it late at night the night before. I would do it in the afternoon. Fly over, get a hotel close to the port, either a hotel that has a shuttle or a hotel that you could Uber and it's not going to be extremely expensive, like a 10-15 minute ride. If you drive because you live close to port, you can afford, depending on how close to port, going in the morning of. Because there's some people who live in like Florida and stuff, and they drive like an hour and they're at the port. Okay, you don't need to go the night before. You can get there the morning of. You really don't have to do all that. Now, some people are saying you can park at a hotel if you stayed there and keep your car there the whole time, or you can park at the port's parking garage. That's what we're going to do, and that's what we have done before. It's not that expensive. Some people say it's very, very expensive. It cost me like $95 for the whole 7 days in a covered garage. So really, it's not that expensive. And we walk to the port. It's right across the street from the port. So if you're having like a lot of luggage or something, you're going to want to either have a shuttle that brings you right up there, or you're going to want to park right at the port because you're not going to want to wheel your bags far away. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think. I got a little notebook over here, but not a lot of these pertain to very new travelers. Another thing, once the ship announces it's going to sail away, you need to ensure that your phone is on airplane mode, or you will get charged roaming fees from your provider. And on a 7-day cruise, I'm telling you, you don't want to see that number. You can also, or what you need to do, you need to let your bank know the countries that you're going to so they don't flag your account. Luckily with my bank, we can do it all in the app. We can tell it when we're leaving, when we're returning, and the countries that we'll be visiting. So that way, if we buy something in Jamaica or we buy something in Mexico, they're not like, we're putting a hold on your card because fraudulent, whatever, and you can't contact them because you can't get on the phone. ATMs are on the ship. It's gonna charge you $6 in ATM fees to pull money off the ATM on board. So I suggest you bring cash. Cash is usually king. 1, when it comes to tipping people on board. 2, when it comes to buying things in port, especially if you're from a vendor, not from a actual store, because cash is king, we all know that. But when it comes to tipping on board, anything that gets tipped through your gratuities, or that you tip when you pay for dinner, or whatever the case may be, the crew member doesn't get that right away. So it's better to give them the cash, to hand it to them so they get it right then and there. Those of you who are booking a cruise, you will see the option to prepay your gratuities. We don't do that. We prefer to pay the cash to the people that have helped us on board. So what we do is we go to guest services and we tell them, take off the gratuities, we're gonna pay in cash. So that's what we do. We pay our room steward the majority of the money, and then the rest of it gets tipped to other people. But also understand that when you order drinks, when you're in specialty dining, when you're in these things, there's already a gratuity added. You can tip additionally if you want, but understand that there is already a gratuity added. We learned that on like the second day when my husband was tipping, but they were already adding the gratuity to his bill and he was tipping on top of that. Which again, not an issue. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. Just, letting you guys know so you don't see all these charges and you're like, well, what the heck is this? But you can check your account on board on the little TV. There's a section on the TV that you go to your account and you can check all the charges being made to your account, so that way you can see, what's happening, what's going on. I think you can even put limits on your kids. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double check that. But basically anybody who gets access to your stateroom card, you better have that on you at all times. Or if you're traveling with your significant other, like I do with my husband, I either leave mine back in the room and we just walk around with his, because we both don't need our cards. But that's how you pay for things around the ship, but it's not password protected or anything like that. So if you drop your card, you lose your card, somebody picks it up and somebody wants to be dishonest and not turn it in, they can just swipe everywhere, and next thing you know, you have all these charges on your account that you didn't do. So you need to be aware of that. If you can, like a lot of people say, pay for things ahead of time, reserve things ahead of time, get those things taken care of before you get on the ship. A lot of things are going to be sold out or are going to cost you more once you get on the ship. If you don't really care about paying more, then, but if you want to ensure you're going to get that excursion, or ensure you're going to get that dinner, or ensure you're going to get whatever other activities you want to do, you're going to want to book those ahead of time. Now, some people will tell you, book through a third party for your excursions. Now, I'm not saying not to. You can do that. We've done it. But you have to be careful with that, because when it comes to the cruise ship leaving port, it will leave without you. They don't care. They don't care what the excuse is. They will leave without you. So people who book an excursion through the cruise line, they won't leave without you, because they have a crew member out there. They have you guys out there that you booked it through the ship. You are guaranteed to get back on board. If you book with a third party and your third party is late bringing you back and the ship you're on your own, you better figure it out. So that can be kind of a very tough thing. I would really only book a third party excursion if it's something that you know is going to finish well before the cruise leaves. So let's say your cruise leaves at 4 and your excursion's supposed to be done at noon. That gives you plenty of time to still make it back to the ship. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you're, not you're not wanting a specific cruise line or specific dates or specific whatever, just shop around. Cruise lines are always, and I mean always, having deals. There's always some sort of buy one, get the second passenger 60% off, or $550 off the second passenger, or 30% off your drink package, or whatever the heck. There's always deals going on. They're always relatively the same. Sometimes you can find a really good deal, and sometimes it's kind of like, I missed out on the other deal, but we're coming close, so might as well take this deal. But also, once you book it, if you see the price drop, if it's before your final payment date, they will reimburse you the money. If it's after your final payment date but before the date of sailing, you'll get it as onboard credit. However, you have to check the prices. The cruise line will not let you know that the price is lower. So I recently just did this. I just saved like $200 on our cruise for December because there was a lower advertised price on Royal Caribbean's website. So I called them and I said, hey, we originally paid $2,000 and whatever. It's now at $18 whatever, and they dropped the price. So we're good to go. Also, so we're talking about new cruisers, okay? Don't know what tip number this is. I don't know. I'll put it in the title just so people roughly know how many things I'm telling you guys, but whatever. Anyways, make sure you pack the things that you need. Do not say, I'm going to get it on the ship or I'm going to get it in port. It's going to be very expensive. What I do is I buy the teeny little empty travel-sized bottles, and then I just fill it with my own stuff. Because the cruise ship does give you body wash, shampoo, and conditioner in the bathrooms, but they're like generic stuff. So, or like their brand. So if you're somebody who uses a specific type of body wash or, shampoo and conditioner or whatever the heck, like for me, I have a very sensitive skin. I can't use anything with fragrances or colors or anything like that. So I have to bring my own stuff. So that way I'm not using that and breaking out like crazy. So that's all I do is I pack them in the little things. I guess for about 7 days, how much do I use? Then that's what I do. If you have medication, or you want to swim, or you want to record your stuff, or you want to go to the gym and you're not wearing gym clothes, make sure you put it in a little carry-on, like a little backpack or something, because again, once you give your suitcases to the guys at the port, you're not getting it back for a few hours. So you won't be able to swim if you're not either already wearing a swimsuit or have a backpack with your swimsuit in it. You won't be able to take your medications unless it's in your carry-on. Like, you get where I'm going with this? Like, you don't get your luggage until later in the day. Now, majority of the time, I'd say everybody's luggage is probably there around 4, 6. Sometimes, there's been a few times where we've gotten one bag and then we wouldn't get in the other bag for like 2 more hours. I don't know what happened there, but sometimes that happens. So you want to make sure that everything that you need for basically the whole first day of the cruise, you have it in your little backpack. Okay, this one is going back to the very beginning just because of the times that we're in right now. Ensure you still bring a mask. Cruise lines, it's changing all the time, whether we need a mask or whether we don't. Whether you should or shouldn't, or off in port if you need one or you don't need one or whatever. Just make sure you bring one or two or three or however many, so that way you are prepared when they do, or if they do tell you, hey, you need one. Another thing that I did not know about, going back to the COVID stuff, is you can do an at-home COVID test. However, it must be a special kind, prescribed, proctored by a doctor, all that jazz. You can get it on the Royal Caribbean website, or, you have to go to the frequently asked questions. Royal Caribbean will give you a link to their little store to buy it from. Or you can buy it from, I think it's Navica, and do it that way. We're just going to buy it from Royal Caribbean, so we have no question about whether we got the one we're supposed to get. You have to do it within 2 days, but Sunday doesn't count. So Saturday or Friday is the earliest you'd be able to take that test, which kind of sucks because that means you don't know if you are actually going to be able to go on your cruise until 2 days prior. Because if you come up negative on that test, you're not cruising. I mean, positive. If you come up positive, my bad. Come up positive for COVID, you're not getting on that cruise. So that kind of sucks. I hate that they're doing that, but it's something that still needs to be done. I'm going to pause this really quick and see what else I really need to tell you guys. All right, for those of you that are drinkers, okay, I don't know what happened with the light. There is shopping on board that is duty free, okay, so tax free basically, that sells alcohol. And you can buy alcohol in the ports that you visit. However, you don't get it until you get off the ship. You're not allowed to consume the ones that you buy. So if you buy things out in Mexico or out in Jamaica, you can bring them on the ship and you can then bring them home, but you pass them off to security and you cannot pick them up until it's time to get off the ship. Bring more than one bathing suit. Make sure you have comfortable shoes to walk in, because you're probably going to do a lot of walking. Also, two more. We'll just do these last two. It's another excursion thing and location of the bedroom. Excursions. Try not to overdo it. So, my first cruise, I wanted to do everything. That was a mistake. Figure out the things you really want to do. Make time to do them, but give yourself time to just relax and do nothing. When you have such a busy schedule, you almost can't enjoy the vacation. You still enjoy the activities, but you didn't really get to relax and have time to enjoy it because you're just go, 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 go. I won't go as far to say you shouldn't do an activity at every port. I won't go that far, because usually what we do is if it's our first time at the port, we will do an activity at the port. If we're visiting a second or a third or a fourth time, we probably won't schedule an activity. We did do an 8-hour excursion in Cozumel, but I don't regret that one bit. Now, we were exhausted, so luckily we didn't do anything the next day, but that was well worth it. Sorry, I'm getting tired, guys. It's getting warm out here in Texas, and it's getting rough. Okay. Location of the room. You should look at the deck plans and location of your bedroom so you can be in the best possible place. If you're prone to seasickness, there's going to be a better place on the ship for you than somebody who isn't or doesn't care. If you want to be close to the fun, close to the action, you're probably going to want a cruise ship further up in the ship. If you want more peace and quiet or areas that are like staterooms only, you're going to want to be lower on the ship, or you're going to want to ensure that your deck doesn't have like the Royal Theater. Because one time I think our bedroom was the deck right above the Royal Theater, and they were watching Jurassic Park, and all night that's all we heard was movie, because it was a very late showing. I think it was at like 10 o'clock or something like that, and we like couldn't sleep that whole time they were playing the movie. So you just want to pick ones based off like what you want to do. So for my husband and I, we like to go to the gym on board the ship. So we usually get a room closest to the gym. Normally the gym's towards the front, I want to say. Can't really remember. But wherever the spa is, that's where the gym is. So usually we like to be close to that. So we'll either be on the same floor but further down, or we'll be a floor below or a floor above but a little further down. We're usually not like right next to the gym. But yeah, just try to pick it based off things you want to be closest to or things you want to be furthest away from, and just have fun there. One thing I will mention though regarding rooms, if you don't care to have a balcony or you don't care to have a window or anything like that, the interior is going to be the way to go, because it's so affordable. It's very, very affordable. Like, for example, this 7-day cruise we're about to go on in less than 30 days cost us $1,082 for both of us. Now, we did book it during a buy one, get one, like 60% off thing. So it was originally like $2,000. But even then, $2,000 is not that bad. But paying $1,082 frees up so much more money to do activities, or to get the drink package if you wanted, or to get Wi-Fi or whatever. But to be honest, the internet on ships, not the best. So unless you need it, I wouldn't buy it. We've gotten it once because I was going to school. No, my husband was going during that time. I'm going right now. We may or may not need it for this upcoming one. But he was going to school and he still had assignments that needed to be submitted while we were on the ship. So we had to get the internet for that. So, I mean, it's fine for things like that, checking your email, whatever. But, like, if you want to be watching movies or uploading vlogs and stuff, you can, but it's going to take a long time. Like, it's kind of slow. So don't get your hopes up for the internet. So that's where I'm sorry. Bonus one, because a lot of people still don't understand this. These ships operate on a special time. They're like their own floating like time zone. So don't go off the state you just left, and don't go off the country you're about to go to. You need to go based off what the ship says the time is, because that's when the ship's gonna leave. So if your ship's time, it's 3 p.m. and your ship leaves at 4, but in Cozumel it's only 2 p.m., you don't want to go off of Cozumel's time, because you're going to miss your dang ship. You know, or vice versa. Maybe you think you need to get on the ship now when in reality you have 2 more hours to get on the ship. So you need to be aware of ship time because, like I said, they will leave you. They don't care. They don't, because they've got thousands of other people on board that managed to make it back, except for the few. So, sorry. Sucks to suck. So, that's going to be the end of this video. The next video will probably be the essentials to pack, things to make it easier on board the ship, less stressful, all that jazz, because we are getting ready to leave in less than 30 days. So I will be doing packing and all of that jazz to let you guys know what I pack, how much I fit in there, and all of that, because I'm an overpacker. I'm going to let you know that right now. I overpack because I'd rather have more than I need than not enough. Plus, we also go to the gym, we swim, we need regular outfits, we need fancy outfits. We have all of our recording equipment, we have shoes, like, it's a lot, okay? So, I'm going to make that video next. Let me know if this helped you guys, if you need something more in depth, or you want, like, what are my top tips, or what are my must-haves when you pack, or what is your little kind of cruise checklist and all of that jazz. If you liked this video, cool. If you didn't, I don't care. My husband is also on this channel. You'll see him more so in the vlogs than in these kinds of videos because he works a normal job and I don't. So I have a lot more time to kind of make videos like this, and I'm sorry it's 36 minutes long. I didn't want it to be this long, but I also wanted to explain to you guys a little bit more, because I do feel like there are some people who just go through the tips so fast, but then you're still left with questions, or you're not so clear on what exactly it is that they're saying. So there's my tips, and we'll get on with it.